Hi, this is B from Sorcery Soap, founder of Soap Dough, author of 5 books on soap dough. The reason I wrote the first book, which is this book here, an Enchanted book of peculiar ideas and soap potions, it's gone through many editions, added more material, updated the cover, did a bunch of things to it. But the reason I wrote this book is because there weren't any resources for soap dough. No one had outlined the process of soap dough and how to treat cold processed soap in order to keep it pliable so that you can mold it into different things. So I wrote it all down, and the reason I also wrote this book is because I'd been asked so many questions about just the very simple term of what is soap dough that I apparently had coined the term soap dough. And so I wanted to explain it and in a concise way. I had been writing blog posts, but it wasn't enough. So I sat down to write the book, and that first release of the ebook went well, and people were really supportive and encouraging because they wanted to know what I was doing with soap, because I was making unusual things with soap and they couldn't understand it. And so it progressed to the point that now there's a printed book right here. It's also available in ebook. But the other thing that I wanted to point out is that I'd read, quite a few books on soap, and I asked myself this question. I usually don't do anything unless I can bring something different. And so I asked myself, what is it that I want to see? What books have changed my life or changed my creative life? And what do I want to see in a soap book? And one of the things that I realized wasn't there is that I wanted to go a bit deeper, and I didn't want to just tell you about soap dough and what process I had discovered and how to care for it and make it into these shapes. I didn't want to just do that part. I wanted to help you source your own creativity, because that's one of the things I realized is that I can be taught certain things, but the things that really changed me was to help me dig into my own creative world and to dig into my own creativity, and that pool can be endless. And so 6 years later, I'm still creating unique soaps, and unique and original soaps too. So that's awesome, because I had enough material to talk about for 5 books. Well, but to be fair, the last book is just pictures. It's just all the creations. Well, it's 192 soap pictures. So that's just supposed to be inspiration and get you interested in the possibilities of soap. Because I noticed that a lot of people wanted to look at the pictures, but they weren't quite sure they wanted to dig in and make their own soap dough yet. And so I thought I would just put all those out there and show you what all the possibilities are of soap dough. So in this book, an Enchanted book of peculiar ideas and soap potions, I do give you 3 recipes for soap dough in here, and insights and ideas and whys and why nots and all those other things. And I also give you some, hopefully, suggestions to help you stay creative and get your feet planted in some creative fertile ground, we'll put it that way. So I wanted to read this little portion to you, and so you can kind of hear the general idea of what's going on in this book. I have a lot of people ask me which book to purchase, the first ones, and it really depends on your position. And I picked this up today and I thought, I forget that I wrote this. And so anyway, I'll just read it to you. It's called Ego and Muse Got Divorced. And in each chapter there's a quote, and this says, "Don't expect anything original from an echo. Ego and your muse do not abide in the same place. The muse feeds on inspiration, joy, and peace, spectacular sunsets, dew on a morning flower, hummingbirds dancing near the garden, and most of all, glitter." Yep, that's right. Even if you don't like glitter, now you can say, "Oh, that's muse food." The ego, the boss of the dictator, feeds on fear. Ego food is bitterness, envy, jealousy, hatred, anything that depletes peace. The ego feeds on things that live in the shadows. Knowing what your muse eats helps us fuel her. We are one step closer to regular and consistent inspiration. The idea behind that is that your muse helps to point out things that inspire. She is your guide to creative expression. So, you know, I hear people say quite regularly that how do you get inspired? And that was the impetus for this book, because I realized that if I went a little bit below the surface, that creativity and inspiration are perceived as vacillating existences when they can be constant and enduring. If you know how to get yourself into the position of being inspired by everything. And I thought that has so much more value than just telling somebody or giving somebody a recipe, or and if I'm going to put my words in a document that's going to last for some time, I wanted to give more than just the surface. I wanted to give as much as I could give. And so that's why I wrote this book. So I hope that helps you and helps inform you to book purchase. And I'm going to make some videos about each book, so that way I can point people to these and say, yeah, if you want to hear me talk about a book or read a little section, there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for following. I really appreciate it. And you're probably a grown person watching this, so I'm going to hope that if you want to see more, like, subscribe, leave me a comment below. I do answer comments. I answer as many questions as I can. All reasonable questions I answer. And I also have another channel. It's called Library TV. You can find Sorcery Soap over there if you don't like ads. So a little bit for something for everybody. All right, thanks again. Bye.